Badge Beauties, welcome back to Beyond the Badge, Female Voices in Corrections. I'm your host, Dalia Veronica. Every career has a beginning, and every experienced officer was once the new officer, learning the ropes. Today's conversation is all about the journey, what it's like to start a career in corrections, the lessons learned along the way, and the experiences that help shape who we become behind the badge. I'm excited to welcome today's guest. And thank you so much for joining us, Geek.
You're welcome.
Yes, ma'am. So before we get started, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, I'm 6 years in as a corrections officer, so gotten a little bit under my belt since we first met.
Oh, absolutely.
At the moment, I'm a single mom, so I'm having to teach my son the respect that I've learned over the years just being a corrections officer.
Okay.
Teach him how to be better than what I've seen.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And you have the support of your family as well.
Yeah. Extremely.
Exactly.
It's been the biggest help of all.
Exactly. So how did your mom feel when you first said, "Hey mom, I'm going to do corrections"?
Well, okay, so she's like, between me and my brother, we've given her more gray hairs. Because our line of work's not exactly the safest, but neither is my brother. So he went to the Army last year.
Oh, okay.
So, I'm not sure which one of us is giving her the most.
Okay.
So
that's absolutely wonderful. And when you first started as well, you didn't have to worry about daycare as much because you had
mom. Yeah.
Exactly. And that's like one of the biggest things. Like when I would interview new staff, I would ask them, especially our females, hey, do you have children? Well, yes, I have children. Okay, well, you have, any issues with, daycare or anything like that because of the shifts, you have to change, rotate shifts. And a lot of them would say no, but then once it came down to the actual being on the job training and being on the shift, some of them would say, oh my gosh, I thought I could do it, but I can't. My baby's still young in daycare and I don't have, so I'm happy that
it's definitely a big help.
Yes, absolutely.
Having the help. I mean, I've got siblings that are old enough to babysit too, so
yes,
that makes it even easier. So if mom can't watch them, give them to one of the siblings.
Exactly. That's awesome. Yes, that's awesome. Okay, so what made you choose a corrections career?
I was looking for something better. I was working for McDonald's, pretty much a dead end job for the most part, and I knew I needed a career. I needed something that I could provide for.
Yes.
Better for.
Yes. And I mean, it has great benefits.
It does have great benefits.
Great benefits.
My current facility has taken care of me through everything that I've been dealing with for the last year.
Okay.
So,
yes,
it's been a blessing.
Absolutely. And it's awesome when you have the help of your facility that has your back.
Yeah.
That is just
that has absolutely been a big blessing.
Yes. Okay. So what has surprised you the most since starting?
The inmates, really. The inmates.
Okay.
You see something new almost every day.
Every day,
something that's just like, why are you doing that? I had a guy dancing on a table one morning, and I'm just like, what are you doing? Get off the table. He's like, I'm just showing off, Miss Gage. I'm like,
no, exactly. I did have one inmate as well that did that. Like I actually walked in the unit. I was talking to one of the officers, and she had just newly graduated from the academy. But it's like almost 60 to 70 inmates to one officer. So I saw it when I walked in. I went to talk to her, and then I turned around and I said, "Get off the table!" And he's like, "Oh, Miss Askew, my bad, my bad. I was just trying to translate, to the guy up there." I said, "Oh, and you had to stand on the table to do that?
Right.
You couldn't go upstairs and translate for him?" And he was like, "I don't want no smoke, Miss Askew." Which I'll get off the table. So yeah.
Yeah.
So you have those inmates who like to joke around,
Oh
but
yeah.
they do respect you. So that's a good thing.
Yep.
That's a good thing. Also, have you noticed the age difference now that's being incarcerated? Have you noticed
I
that?
have noticed the age difference,
Yes. No.
and how they kind of organize themselves based off age, and
Mhm.
the younger guys don't mess with the older guys.
Yes.
The older guys, keep the younger guys in check when it comes to female officers, for example,
Yes.
especially younger female officers, because they're like, you guys aren't going to get away with that,
Mhm. Yeah,
you
that
know.
is true. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. So, how did your first week compare to where you are now go for you?
Well, um, I definitely struggled my first week. I remember that much. You know, I did not have the confidence as much as I do now.
Okay.
Not so much in my shell as I was when I started,
Yes.
because I didn't have the projection when I started, and now I do, and I
Yes.
scare people when I have to project, and they're like, "We're going, we're going."
Absolutely. But you know what makes the best officers is someone who comes straight off the streets that doesn't have any
That's
correctional
how I
experience.
started,
That's
straight off the street.
Yes, that's how I started as well. I came from a medical background. So I didn't have it, I didn't have it either. But you grow and you learn, and then as the years go by, now, okay, yep, this is what you can do and this is what you can't do. You
Um,
read your policies,
yeah,
procedures.
yeah, and then when I first started at the facility that I work at now, probably a week in, I had a guy look at me and says, "You're unapproachable." I'm like, it's like, okay.
Okay.
I was like, okay. He's like, "I thought you were completely unapproachable when you started." And I was like, "No, but don't give me a reason to be."
Exactly.
You know,
Exactly.
versus when I started, it was they were always asking me for something. They were,
That they knew they couldn't have.
yeah, exactly. Or
Yes.
they try and get one over me and try and swipe my pen. Got better at
Yes.
keeping my pens on my shoulder. I was like, "Y'all ain't getting my pens anymore."
Yes, yes, absolutely. So when you went to, your next destination, after you moved, the facility there, did you see a difference on how things were?
So, bringing from our direct supervision to a more indirect supervision, the inmates didn't know what to do with me because I was so comfortable walking around, talking to people and talking to them when I walked into the units to do my rounds.
Yes.
And they just kind of would give me this look.
Like, they don't do that here.
No, right? Most people stay in their, in
Yeah,
their
in the bubble.
booth
Yes.
and, do their round and get out. And I'm just like, I mean, y'all are still human.
Right.
And that was one of the lessons. I believe it was you that taught me, treat them like they're human beings,
Yes.
because, you're just one step away from being in there with them, because
Exactly.
you can
never know.
make that mistake and
Yeah.
end up there.
Exactly. We never know. Yes.
So that stuck with me. And
Well, I'm
even at
glad.
my newer facility, I have passed that on to newer officers that I've seen come in.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah.
And told them the same thing. I was like, "Look, these guys are going to respect you, but you still got to treat them like they're human beings."
Yes. Absolutely.
Because you don't know
Well, thank
what
you
they're
for
going through.
exactly. Yeah, we don't know that. We don't know that. Thank you for sharing that, and I'm glad that stuck with you.
It
That makes
did
me
stick
feel
with
good.
me. It's like the biggest. It was the biggest lesson for me.
Yes,
You
I'm
know.
glad. I'm glad. All right. So, have you had a moment that made you question yourself?
I would have to say it was probably right after I got back from the academy,
Okay.
and we had an inmate overdose on night shift, and I just come back from lunch.
Yes.
I don't know if you remember
Yes.
that, but
Yes.
it
Yes.
definitely freaked me out for a while, because it was like, I fresh out of the academy,
Yes.
you know, I'd hear from the inmates, why were you just standing there? Well, my brain's like not kicking into overdrive
Right.
at that point because it's not something I was familiar with. You know, did the training, but had never put it in practice.
Exactly.
You know, I mean, and then this last year was the first time I've ever had to go hands-on with somebody.
Wow.
And in the almost 6 years that I've done this, you know, first time I've ever had to put my hands on somebody. And I've been told that people have told me that, oh, you're not capable of doing it. I'm like, I've just never had the reason to.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
So you got this really big lady beating on some small lady. And I'm like, you know what? My partner was a guy at that point. I'm like, it's probably better off that I'm the one that goes in there and handles it. You know?
Absolutely. Yes.
Instead of him do it, because females. You know? And so, you know, caught my sergeant and my corporals off guard because they didn't expect it either. So, you know.
Okay.
Because I had her handcuffed and in the vestibule before they even got to me.
Hey, yes.
I was like, what?
Yes.
You know, I know people have thought I'm not capable of it, but I'm just like, you shouldn't expect me to have to do that. I should be able to talk people down before I have to put my hands on them.
Absolutely. De-escalation, verbal de-escalation. That's what we try to go to first.
Right.
So, yes. Oh, I love it. I love it.
So, you know, that's pretty good for my first 6 years.
Yeah. Yes. Like, I really didn't have to go like hands-on that much either. You know, just me communicating with everyone and just, like you said, treating them like human beings.
Like they're human beings.
Yeah. They respect you for that, you know?
You don't usually have any issues.
No, not at all. Not at all. So what were you going through that moment when you saw that incident?
Well, I've been watching these ladies on the camera for most of the day because there seemed to be some tension in the pot every time I walked in there for my rounds. I'm just like, I looked at my partner, I was like, there's some tension going on in there. You need to keep an eye on them.
Yeah.
You know? And I mean, I don't know how much really went on in my head other than just, you know, I think training just kicked in.
Yes. That's all.
My first thought is the safety of the person that just got jumped on.
Yes.
You know, and the size difference and stuff. And the lady was even bigger than me, but I still managed to get her cuffed and everybody locked down at the same time.
That's awesome. It was
almost like a snap judgment. Don't even think about it.
Yes, exactly. And that, like you said, your training kicked in at that.
Training kicked
in. Yes.
Things that I didn't even think I still remember.
Oh, no, once you do it, it's like second nature. Yes. Okay. So what helped you push through tough days?
Going home, taking care of my son.
Yes.
You know, just spending time with him, leaving work at the door.
Exactly.
And that's just like the biggest key is you leave work at the door. You don't bring it out with you because it can affect your home life.
Yes, absolutely.
Especially with some of the stuff you do see. You can't necessarily talk about, but, you know, it's like you got to be able to find where to separate.
Yes.
You know?
Okay. And what did you do as far as, I know, taking care of your child, your son, mental health wise? How did you?
I play video games.
Yes, whatever works. Yes, that's awesome. That's awesome. That's your stress relief. That's that's awesome. I love it.
I love my video games. I've been doing that since even before I started.
So what game system do you play?
PS5. I've got PS5. I've got a computer now.
Okay.
So I play some games on the computer with my mom. So now too. So that's kind of cool.
That's awesome. Yeah. I love it.
And I have a handful of friends that I still play with that I've been playing with for probably the last 8 years.
So do you have headphones?
I have a headset and everything. Yep. And I hear everything that's going on in the background when it comes to my son running around in the background, hollering, "Mama, mama, mama, mama!" Dude, you're okay.
That's awesome. I love it. So what has been the biggest difference between your expectations and reality?
You know, you see everything on TV, how it's recorded on TV for corrections, and it's nothing like what you see on TV.
Right.
It's not as dramatic.
Right.
So, it's like you look at what you see on TV, you think that's what corrections is really about.
Yes.
I'm like, it's not the same thing.
No.
It's not as dramatic. I mean, there's drama.
Oh, yeah.
Always a lot of drama when it comes to corrections, but it's not dramatic like that.
Yes. Yeah.
You don't, every day is really almost the same unless, something happens that really ordinary.
Yes. Yes, exactly.
And as long as you're able to maintain your units all the time, your day's pretty much the same, run smoothly.
Yeah.
That's one of the biggest compliments I've always gotten, is that my pods are always pretty straight and organized.
Oh, that's awesome. That's because you had that.
I'll tell my inmates, I don't like getting fussed at, so don't make me fuss at you.
That's right. Yes.
Like my biggest pet peeve is the jumpsuits or jumpers. And it's like, I got guys that like to walk around with shirtless. I'm like, you guys better put those jumpsuits on. It's not Saturday. You can't wear your t-shirts and your shorts in the day room during the week.
Oh.
So like that's the difference between there and here is that. So like they have 2-piece jumpsuits. They're required to wear Monday through Friday. But in Saturday and Sunday, they kind of let them give them a little leeway with that. They can wear shorts and a t-shirt.
And t-shirts. Wow.
But, even during the week, it's like, if the officers beforehand are not consistent with it.
Exactly.
You're fighting an uphill battle to get them to, what's the word? Comply with that.
Okay. Yeah.
So I was like, well, so-and-so, I'm not so-and-so.
Absolutely. Absolutely, yes.
And I'll tell them, I was like, I get supervisors coming into my booth all the time. I'm like, you need to get your jumpsuits on. Because I'm not going to get fussed at this morning because you guys don't want to follow the rules.
Yes. Did you have to do town hall speeches when there?
No, we don't have to do it. But out of habit, I kind of do. I go over to the speaker and I give them my expectations of what I want them to make sure they do before they come out of their cells.
Yes. Absolutely.
So that is definitely one big change that I was like, great, because I'm not that big at public speaking anyway. Right. So I'm just like, but no, I still tell them my expectations. Like, you guys know the rules. I shouldn't have to repeat them every day, but I'm going to repeat them anyways.
Exactly. Exactly.
Jumpsuits on when you come out those cells.
Yes. Yes.
Is a big one.
Yes.
So otherwise it's pretty about comparable. It's about the same.
The same? Okay. How about medication pass?
Medication pass is actually different. They use medical officers instead of, having
the unit officer.
The unit officer sit there trying to focus on what's going on in the unit.
And making
sure, your inmates aren't cheeking.
Exactly.
Or whatnot. So,
wow.
That is a big difference. And it's a relief because it's like, okay, I'm used to watching an entire unit.
Yes.
Med pass, trays.
Yes.
Everything like that. The difference with there and, here. Our facility was that, we served the trays. Still the same, but in my old new facility, we door to door.
Wow.
They eat in their cells.
Oh, that's good.
So, I think they've changed it a little bit since I've been out with an injury. So, like, I think at night they're allowed to be out now, but for meals.
Yes.
But other than that, it's pretty much door to door every meal.
Wow. Okay.
So, so they get their meal, we get their trays, and then we go to lunch.
Yes. Oh, that's awesome. So do you have an officer relieve you?
Not like that. We relieve each other.
Okay.
So if I've got a partner, so one of us will go on break.
Your break.
We do have, for the bigger units, feeding officers. So we got like 2 or 3 bigger units. So they serve lunch while the floor officers switch out for meals.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. I'm glad you got the experience.
It's definitely it's a difference in the sense there's more people you can rely on.
Yes.
Where versus, 70, 80 inmates per just you. The difference, though, is you get 100 plus inmates for 2.
Okay. Okay.
To split up into anywhere between 30 and 40.
Exactly. Exactly. Okay. How do you handle the pressure and responsibility of the job?
How do I handle the responsibility and pressure? Just, I try to be myself for the most part, It's, finding that balance.
Yeah.
Because it's a big responsibility. You've got other people's lives in your hands.
Yes.
But,
Yes.
I did a stint on night shift at my current facility, and, the biggest thing is checking those cells and making sure nobody's in trouble.
Yes.
Having a
Yes.
medical emergency, trying to, kill themselves, because
Yes.
the volume of that is kind of high when you got especially new inmates,
Absolutely.
especially
Yes.
new and very young inmates.
Yes.
You know,
Yes. Wow.
so it's definitely, you've got somebody else's life in hand. And in some cases, you got 300 plus inmates' lives in your hands. Really, if you think about it, depending on how the facility's set up,
Wow. And sometimes that can be
even then you can still miss stuff.
Exactly.
So then you're, like I said before, the incident when I came back from lunch, I didn't know that was going to happen. Everybody was fine when I stepped out for lunch.
Exactly. Yeah.
It just is what it happens.
Yeah. Yeah. But you were very vigilant in doing your job. So, yes. Awesome. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah. What advice would you give someone in their first month or even wanting to come into the field?
Just know things aren't always the same when you walk in the door. You're going to learn things that change your mindset about when you're dealing with another human being. It's not the same as working customer service.
Right.
You got to learn to, it's a good word, see without seeing. See everything without seeing it.
Okay.
And don't be afraid to be confident, because they sense when you're not confident.
That's
they can
right.
tell when you're not new.
Absolutely.
And, I went in from the facility that I started at, brand new off the street, not that much confidence in myself.
Right.
To the newer facility where I had inmates looking at me like, wait, the person knows what they're doing when I came in.
Exactly. She knows what she's doing. I'm not going to mess with her.
Right.
Yes.
I didn't get messed with quite as much with versus when I started.
Yes.
Yes. That was the other big difference, is that the uniforms didn't differentiate.
Oh.
So, we had tan shirts when we started. Didn't carry OC spray, didn't do anything like that when we started.
Yes.
Versus when I started there, everybody wears the same uniform.
Oh, that's awesome. Yes.
And you carry OC spray right off the bat, which is way stronger than what we carried there,
Yes.
So where, it seemed like it wasn't that strong. I mean, I remember getting sprayed in the face when I came back from the academy and tased. And there we don't go through taser training. They don't do tasers. But they have OC spray that's like 3 times as strong. And it's just like, my face burned for probably 3 days after that.
Oh, so you had to.
I had to recertify, because they're what they have there is a lot stronger.
Oh, okay.
Than what we
had. Yes.
What we had.
Okay. Wow, that is awesome. So I know, like, when I first started at the jail, we all wore the same uniforms. Like, it was, you know how the sheriffs have their dress uniforms? That's how it was when I first started. And then, like, after several years, we went into more of the BDU pants and then the polos. And then it was, okay, well, now we're going to differentiate. So newer officers are going to wear the tan shirts and certified officers are going to wear blue.
Right.
So, yeah. So it's come a long way.
So it makes a difference. They're going to see you quite as differently if you're wearing the same uniform. So you're not dealing with quite as much of the badgering.
Exactly.
of course the inmates are going to tell the difference. They're like, oh wait, this person's wearing a different shirt.
Yes.
So they're obviously not this, experienced.
Yes, exactly.
And it's just like, you have to learn to be able tough skin.
Tough skin, yes, absolutely.
Especially being differentiated between when you go to the academy, when you come back. And
yes.
It's just like, and then, there's a little bit of a change, but they're still trying to test you when you come back from that academy.
Yes.
And it's like, let's see how much we can get over now.
And it's so funny that, like, when someone comes back from the academy, the inmates are like, yay, congratulations. Right. It is so funny. Like, you think they're going to be like, oh, man. But no, they're really like, congratulations. We haven't seen you in a while. Oh, you're in a blue shirt. So they like that. They try to joke around. But that is awesome. That is awesome. So what did you gain from both facilities that you worked at? What did you gain from that?
I gained different perspectives, seeing how different officers operate.
Yes.
Yes. Where we worked by ourselves, us, and then, spending the whole day in the same unit with 70, 60, 70 people. Yes. Versus working with another person, splitting up the rounds. Yes. And, gave me a little more of a reprieve from dealing with especially the men. Yes.
Oh, were there any women at?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So it's men.
So it's still kind of the same. Ratio? Okay. Just it being a bigger facility, the same ratio, men, women.
Yes.
Wise as my older facility. So fewer women, more men, obviously. But I mean, it's still a change. Yes, absolutely. Ultimately.
Okay. And do you have a funny story that you want to tell?
Funny story.
a funny story.
So this is before I left. So we did cell searches every morning.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And I walked into one of the units I was assigned to that morning, and I start going to look for cells, or I look at my list for cells, and it happens to be one guy that's always watching me from his window. I'm just like, okay. And I popped his cell door that morning, and all I hear is flush. I walked in, started searching his cell, and he's like, I flushed it already, Miss Keach. I already flushed it. He had hooch in his cell. He had a whole bag of hooch in his cell. He's like, oh, you made me flush it. I'm like, well, at least I had a good feeling about that cell.
Yes, exactly.
And I'm just like, well, what do you expect?
Oh, that is awesome. That is awesome. And it's funny, like, when you see them, they're looking through their cell window, and you can just see. Well, thank you so much for taking the time being here on Beyond the Badge Female Voices in Corrections. I enjoyed your company. And to all of you guests watching us, thank you so much for standing by and watching us. And until next time, we have new stories coming up. So stay tuned. See you next time.